Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin and it's Saturday, which means it's time for my weekly roundup. Yeah! So, what is my weekly roundup? Well, it's the day we go through my week in crafting, and we also generally talk about the book I'm reading. And I think lately, since I've been watching more TV shows, we kind of talk about that too. But we always start with the crafting, because this is, at its core, a crafting channel. For a second I thought the door was open. It is not. We are safe. Okay, but before we launch into my WIPs, Works in Progress, or FOs, Finished Objects, we need to talk about my countdown to Halloween from Dragon Hoard Yarns. This is October 26th, and this is based on Wicked. Let's see. Oh, this is the second day. I ripped the bag open and got a little bit of a hint on the colorway. I saw blue. 1, 2, 3. It's very blue. Let's see what the colorway is. For Good. There we go. For Good. I'm drawing a blank, but it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful colors. Varying, all various shades of blue. And it's gonna bug me, so give me a second. Yeah, I mean, it's a Glinda Elphaba duet. So the blue, I think that's why I'm drawing kind of a blank as to getting to the blue. But I guess, like up here, I'm just getting a little blurb about how it's an anthem for forgiveness and gratitude. Blue, no, bluebells or forget-me-nots are not forgiveness, are they? I don't know why I'm belaboring this point. Okay, colors associated with forgiveness: purple, blue, and green. So, okay, not too far off there. Well, but if you have a different explanation, please let me know. This is beautiful. It's beautiful tonals. As I look at it, there are some leanings towards purple, so maybe more purple indigo-y in there. But I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's hop right in to my finished objects. I have 4 to share with you today. I did unearth the Addy and get back on the Addy. So I found with the Addy was a partial ball of the Loops and Threads Facets yarn in Emerald that I had intended to work up, and I did. Kind of made a nice child tween sized double layer beanie. And then what I really wanted to get it out there for was to test those new Hirschner's yarns, because I was seeing some interest in them on the channel. And I did work up the Montage yarn on the Addy. So I'm going to do kind of more of a fuller review of it, but first impressions on the Addy: smooth as silk. 0 tucked stitches, no dropped stitches. It was pretty much a crank and just go with the flow thing. It was a very smooth project there. So yeah, I think this would be a great Addy yarn. I'm still developing my thoughts of it using hand crochet, and I have not hand knit with it, but as you'll see, I am working up some crochet. And this is the Wildflower yarn worked up on the Addy. Again, this worked up beautifully smooth on the Addy. No tucked stitches, no drop stitches. It was wonderful. This does have some wool content in it. It is very, very pleasing and nice to my hands. I don't like how airy the fabric came up on my Addie. I had Chomps try it on and I asked him if it felt like a warm hat to him or not, and he said no. He thought that was more of a fall, spring, summer hat. I'm not quite sure. Oh, and we have the return of Hattie. I found Hattie as I cleaned in here. So, yay! The return of Hattie. The final finished object I have not started crocheting or knitting by hand with this. I just did the Addie. I have started working with the montage. So I'm pausing, like, because I don't want to give my full thoughts on it here now, but there is something I'm not loving about the montage in my hands, and I'm not sure I can articulate it quite yet, so I'm still gathering my thoughts. My final finished object is I did finish Bingo's little sock. I did end up doing the toe in blue. I'm hoping I will have enough blue to do the other sock matching, but I figure, because this is all the blue I have left, a very, very small amount. If I have at least enough to do the cuff, I will be happy, because like the toe's hidden in your shoe, it's not a big deal. But there you go. She did get her first sock complete. I finished it late last night. I haven't even started the next one. But there you go. Those are all of my finished objects. I set these over here because the facets hat will go into donation, but I have to keep the other two for review purposes. Okay, let's go into whips. I didn't grab too many whips because, frankly, we had a lot of doctor's appointment last week between me going to the allergist, and then I had a follow-up with my primary, and then Chomps also had to go. So 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, were pretty much lost to going to the doctor. But I did get progress done, so let's talk about it. I got a little further on my pickle jar cowl, so maybe about half done with that mini, maybe a little shy. So what I'm talking about there is I am making the original pickle jar kit from Aberdeen Wools. This is Tangled Ports hand-dyed yarn. You get 40 minis, you get 2 knit patterns, and a circular knitting needle to use for the patterns. So I was making the original cowl, and then there is a pattern for a bias scarf. So I do plan on making the bias scarf next, and I've already bought a refill pack for that. I've got like 4 minis left now, so it is getting to the end on this cowl. I am so excited. I love it. It's like a riot of color. And then, so here I was talking about the Sundance montage yarn. This is what I'm talking about, the Hirschner's House brand. And I'm doing a stitch sampler kind of crochet beanie with it right now. So you can kind of see how different stitches work up. And yeah, I'm very confused about this yarn. I guess that's what I'll say right now. And we'll talk more later. The final work in progress I'm going to share. Oh, I forgot to grab my amigurumi. I did work on the iguana for Chomps. He wants the entire iguana to be orange and yellow striped. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on the body portion. So there we go. I'm also continuing to work on a baby blanket, and I will offer it up to my sister should I finish it in time. She has a friend who's having a baby. I am not going to be an auntie. But here we go. I did a couple more rows, not a ton. I'd say probably added 3-4 inches since last time we met, which is, I mean, nothing to sneeze at. A stitch is progress, and all progress should be celebrated. But I would love to get Well, next week, oh, the kids do have off school on Monday. The kids have gotten like an abnormal number of days off school. I don't understand. We did not get this much off when I was back in my day. But that's okay. I am excited. I will love to have them. Oh, but that does mean I might have a little more difficulty getting a video up on Monday. Pre-record! But there you go. That is all of the crafty goodness I have to share with you. So if you were here for just the craftiness, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear what you're working on or what's exciting you these days. Yeah, I always love pattern suggestions. I love them. We're going to talk next about books, and then I'll go on and talk a little bit about the TV I'm watching, because why not? I did finally finish The Book That Broke the World. What? This is Mark Lawrence, The Book That Broke the World. This is book 2 in the library trilogy. It is, the first book was The Book That Wouldn't Burn. So the third book in a trilogy, you know, the narrative arc, I'm sorry, the second book in a trilogy with the whole narrative arc, it's never going to leave the characters in a good place, let's be honest. And this one is no different. I do question whether or not we needed the introduction of a 4th race into the whole pantheon of this universe, but we got it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a nice continuation of the story. I do think it was a bit sloppy in the writing at times, and I don't want to be too mean, but like sometimes I understand we're playing with time and the flow of time, and there's jumping around and people coming from different timelines or whatever. But there was often like suddenly they'd be like, oh, and then John said, and you're like, wait a second, we haven't seen John in like 10 chapters. Where did he come from? And it was a bit abrupt, and I wish there was a bit more explanation. I noted that happening at least twice in the book, and I'm wondering if there was some holes created by the editing process. That's my guess. But yeah, that left me a little but I did order the third book. It's coming out, I believe, April of 2025, and I'll finish it. So we're done with the library trilogy for now. I think I read the blurb for the third book already, but it says basically your heart's going to get ripped out. So that doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well, people. So that does mean I get to start a new book, or I got to start a new book. I've heard really vastly different opinions on this book, so I'm willing to give it a try. Like, it seems very polarizing. People either love it or hate it. I've not read a middle ground review, but it's V.E. Schwab's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I got it from Costco. There's a Costco ticket. I have only read like the introduction and the first chapter, so I'm I'm like 20 pages in. Yeah, I'm 19 pages in. So I can't give much talk about the plot. The writing style I really enjoy so far. I love it. But again, like I said, I'm only 19 pages in. We'll see. But basically, like, I think I can say this by the blurb. It's about a woman who, in the past, makes some sort of deal that grants her long life, but the gist is no one can ever remember her. So I think that's very interesting. That's an interesting idea. And, you know, already in the first chapter, you're getting a theme of, like, you know, what is the point of a life that's not remembered? And it's an interesting thing. Like, it's our legacy that we leave behind, but she can't leave a legacy because nobody can remember her. It's interesting. But then she does get to live forever and experience all these things. Well, I don't know if it's live forever. She's definitely lived for like 300-400 years. I think 300 years. I think it starts in the 1700s. Actually, let me check the date on the prologue. Okay, yeah, the prologue is dated July of 1714, and then the first chapter is March of 2014, so 300 years at least. So yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. I'm willing to give it a go. If it turns out I tend to give books about 50 pages. And if I'm like, well, I'm not interested after the 50-page mark, I DNF it. I do not finish it. But if I'm still going after 50 pages, I'll give it to the end. Unless something absolutely horrific happens in the book and I can't get over that event. Then I'll DNF it further down. Anyway, there are my books. As always, I love book suggestions, so leave them in the comments if you got them. As for television I've been watching, I did finish Stranger Things thus far. You guys, I am not okay after that season 4 finale. That was not cool on multiple levels. Eddie, you didn't deserve it, Eddie. And then everything that happened with Max breaks my heart. Oh, man. I think I piggybacked in on a pizza, or from a pizza dough freezer. I think I need that, like, on a t-shirt or something. Because that just had me giggling. Because when Max was like, what? The way Millie Bobby Brown delivered that, it was fantastic. I just love that line. But yeah, I have to say I am a big Steve fan. I love Steve. I love the Steve-Dustin interactions, and I just love that. I guess that was more season 3, and then there was a bit of the jealousy of Dustin becoming friends with Eddie in season 4, but there's just something about Steve that I love. He was such a jerk in the first season until he figured out what was going on, and now he's such a stand-up guy, and he's like the babysitter. I don't know. I really like Steve's character. And why am I drawing a blank on her name? Steve and Robin, I thought were a great pair. Steve and Robin, I loved their interactions as well. Maya Hawkins, I kept looking at her, I'm like, she is just the perfect combination of Ethan Hawkins and Uma Thurman. She is like gorgeous. Which I think takes you out of it a little bit, but she was such a great actress too. So it's like you kind of want to be, ooh, Hollywood nepotism, but I don't think it is. I think she was fantastic in that role, is fantastic in that role. So I love her. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Stranger Things. Now that I've finally seen it, I can see the hype. I really enjoyed it. I do question how old the kids are gonna look come season 5, but that's okay. I did see they posted like the very opening scene for series 5 season 1 or episode 1, and it looks exciting. What else? That's pretty much all I gotta say on Stranger Things. Because I don't want to give too much away if there are others out there like me that had to put off watching it and haven't seen it. After Stranger Things, I tried to watch on Netflix Shadow and Bone, and I couldn't get into it, but I was also doing other things at the time. So I don't know if that, again, is like a series where I need to sit down and kind of pay a bit more attention. So I just watched like 3/4 of the first episode and turned that off. And then Ray from Ray's Yarn Addiction suggested Agatha All Along to me. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go watch Agatha All Along. Now, I will say I have not seen Multiverse of Madness, that movie. So I think I missed a chunk that might be important. But I think I understood well enough based on what I've seen other people saying about episodes. And I love it. I love Agatha All Along. Catherine Hahn is amazing. Aubrey Plaza. It's got Patti LuPone in it. I mean, come on. She is like a national treasure. She is fantastic. The last episode was heart-wrenching. That was like phenomenal. I loved it so much. I'm not going to give away anything that happens, but Lilia is my girl. I loved Lilia. I loved Patti LuPone's character. Yeah, I think it's a good series. I think it's good. I like it a lot. So I'm up to date on that one. And then I started watching Loki. And I feel like maybe I would have been better served by rewatching season 1 before watching season 2, but I didn't. I'm enjoying it. I think it's good. Tom Hiddleston is fantastic. And him with Owen Wilson, I think they're a great pair. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I haven't watched, obviously, the whole season yet. I think it's 6 episodes. I believe I'm on the 4th. Oh, I can't remember the actor. Oh, he was in the Goonies. He's made a big resurgence. Oh, I can't remember his name. It's like Hey Kwan, but he has a first name. It's like Woo Hey. Let me see. He was in Hui Kwan. Oh, I cannot say. I am not good with Chinese pronunciation at all. But yeah, he was Short Round in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. Data in Goonies. Was he not also in 16? No, that wasn't. He was not in 16 Candles. That was a different actor. K-E. Next name, H-U-Y space Q-U-A-N. Ki Hui Kwan. That's my best guess. He's fantastic. I loved seeing him. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I hear that the final episode is pretty sad, but I'm not there yet, so I don't know. We'll see. I love the character Loki, and I would love to see a full redemption arc for him, and my understanding is that's pretty much what I'm gonna get. So, that excites me. I love it. And, yeah, so there we go. If you have any other television suggestions, I'd love to hear it. Movies. Yeah, I'm interested in what I might have, forgotten or missed in the past 7-ish years. Okay, I will talk to you later. Bye!